right, it's getting on to a little after 2 in the afternoon. Getting hungry. Hadn't had any breakfast. The only thing that's been sustaining me is being at this beautiful spot and coffee. And I have no complaints about either one of those. They're both really great. But like I said, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to make some food. I'm going to kind of walk you through it. You guys know what chicken and dumplings is? I mean, even up here in Idaho, I don't know if people even have heard of that before, but basically it's comfort food. And I'm going to show you how to make it. You know, it's kind of fun to be able to be outside and away from everything and be able to make something to eat that's really good. You know what I mean? And this is definitely something really good. And basically what it consists of is making a chicken soup and taking some Bisquick, or in my case today, I got some flour and that sort, and a couple other ingredients, adding a little bit of water in there and kneading it inside of a Ziploc bag until it gets to a certain consistency, a nice thick, doughy, kind of sticky consistency, so that you can, like, you know, pull a pinch of it out and it just holds its shape. And then right about the time that soup starts to simmer, you start dropping those down in the water. And the more you put in there, the thicker it's going to be. And the dumplings, even though chicken soup, everybody likes chicken soup, I think. Maybe not. But the dumplings make it. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a Canteen cup. Okay, so Canteen cups don't hold a lot of water. I'm going to put about 1.5 cups of water in there. And what you do to flavor it, see this little bag right here? This has granulated chicken bullion, maybe a tablespoon of it. You don't want to do too much. It's got so much salt. 1 tablespoon per cup of water. That's all you need. If you like salt, or you like a lot of salt, go ahead and put more in there. But you don't need it because it's so super concentrated and so flavorful. And so in there with it, I also have a little bit of dried chive, some dried parsley, and some dried onion bit, and garlic, a little bit, not much. And then this is going to go in the 1.5 cups of water that I'm going to put in there to start the soup. If you want to go another route, you don't want to add all that stuff. You just want stuff that's already really kind of pre-made. Lipton, and of course there are other brands. This is an off-brand. This isn't Lipton. Makes good. Makes good chicken noodle soup mix. Basically, you'd put in that amount of water that I'm having there, maybe half of this, if that, because this is a lot of flavor in here too. So you can go that route if you want, but it'll add noodles, little tiny noodles to it. I've done it that way. I like it. I've done it this way. I like it. This is white chicken. I'm not sure if I'm going to wind up putting all of that in there, but I'm going to put a lot of it in there. Remember, we were only talking about a Canteen cup. That's why another reason why I'm only putting like 1.5 cups of water in there, if that. Because I want a lot of chicken in there. And then, while that's simmering, I got some hot water in that bottle right there. I'll start adding that. I've got maybe about 1.5 cups of flour in here with a pinch of salt and a pinch of baking powder. And you can use baking soda, and lots of black pepper. And I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to take some of it out of that other bag in there and put it in here, so there's not so much. I don't need 1.5 cups of flour. It's going to make a huge amount of dough, and I just don't need that for this. So I'm going to break it up, maybe half or 3, I don't know, 2/3 maybe. Just use that. The other thing is too, if you don't want to carry around a pack of meat, you know, this doesn't weigh that much more than, say, those thin aluminum packs of tuna or Spam. It weighs a little more, I think, because I think there's a lot more meat in here. But if you don't want to go that route, remember that if you're out backpacking or if you're hiking and you want to stop and you want to eat, that your muscles have been working and they need protein to build themselves back up while you rest and beyond that time too. So you need the protein. You're not going to get much protein from this stuff at all. So I haven't done this, but if you wanted to go another route, go to the store, wherever like your health food stores are, and get a can of the protein powder and take whatever amount that you want out of that put it in your dough mix, whether you're going to use flour like I have. Look, I didn't have Bisquick. If I had Bisquick, I wouldn't have used flour. I would have just used Bisquick, threw some pepper in there, and left it alone, because you need the extra stuff in here to make it right for the dough. But anyway, you get some of that protein powder and you mix it up with your Bisquick or whatever, and then you got protein in your dumplings. Maybe it's not going to be quite the same as having meat, but I don't know. The bodybuilders use it, and look at the size of those guys. Well, anyway, let me get some stuff started here, and I'll be back. Okay. All right, got some water out of the river. Just put it on my stove. Yeah, I could use my fire, and there is absolutely no reason not to use the fire, other than the soot that pine adds to the bottom of my cup, and it just makes for easier cleanup to not have to do that. I'm already going to have to do it with the Pathfinder's cup or Canteen. One Canteen, one cup, it's enough. I don't need to be cleaning everything in the forest. Does that sound lazy? Yeah, it did to me too. Anyway, that'll be boiling pretty quick. So what I'm going to do, going to take our soup mix here, drop it on in. Okay. Going to save this bag that I have that mix in, just in case I don't use all of my chicken. I can put it in here. So we got that in there. Let's give her a stir. Okay. Now I'm going to open up our Tyson chicken. Spoon a little bit of this in there. Look at that. Look how good that looks. That is some good chunky chicken. Right. I put 3 big heaping sporkfuls in there. That ought to be pretty good. And basically, that's about half of what was in here. If I can open this up without getting it all over the camera. See, still some down in there. So that's a pretty good amount. Here's the thing. It was something that you really got to remember. Those dumplings, I didn't mention this before. The dumplings, when you put them in the hot water, are going to grow. And it'll knock the water right out. That's why I only want to use about 1.5 cups. That's why I only want to put about 3 tablespoons or 3 spork spoons of chicken in there, because the rest of it we're gonna put. See how far we are from the top? I mean, we're not that far from the top. I'm gonna put enough dough in there to raise it up about halfway from the point that it is right now to the top of the cup, because I'll need that extra room. So let me put the chicken away and start making the dough. Show you how that's done. Okay, that was the bag that all the flour was in right there. So basically what I wound up doing is I took a little more than half, put it in this bag, and you just make sure that you only add just a tiny bit of water at a time. Okay, that was about maybe 2 tablespoons of water. So we're going to close up the bag. We're going to do a little kneading job on it. Get some of the air out of there so you have something to work with. And then you just kind of knead it like this. Get that water and the flour mixed together. You guys know how to make bannock, right? Have you ever done that? I've only done it once or twice. Really good stuff, but this is basically the exact same thing. So if you can make bannock like this, you carry your dough, you add a little water, you knead it up, then you pretty much got it done. I think we're going to need a little more water in there. Let's open that up a touch, if I can. There we go. Give you a bird's eye view. Okay, that might have been a teaspoonful. Remember that if you wind up putting too much water in there, then you wind up putting more flour, more dough mix in there, bannock mix, if you will, whatever you want to call it, dumpling mix, and then all of a sudden you've got this gigantic bag of dough, and you don't need it. That might be pretty good right there. Let's open her up, take a peek. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that consistency. See how close we are? We can actually, this water in here is probably hot enough that we could probably put dumplings in there now if we wanted to. Let's give it a stir. I want to get it, you know, get some heat coming out of there first, because you want those, if you put the dumplings in there too soon, they'll take longer to cook, and you're basically cooking them. And so let's get the heat up a little bit so that they don't take so long to cook. All right. Oh, this sounds good. Woo. Yeah. It's the second cup. Better than the first. Coffee out of river water, that's pretty. Is that a frickin' minnow in there? I can just let that simmer for a while and concentrate. You know, the water level will go down, and then I can start putting that in. Let's let it cook for a little bit, and then we'll start putting. I'll leave the lid off, and then we'll start putting the dough in there. But that, my pocket rocket is turned almost as far down as it can go without going out. What I did was I cut the corner off this bag, basically making a pipette out of it, but I didn't want to cut it too small. I want a big enough hole for it to come out. So if I can drop a little bit on there, you can just, you know, pinch it with your fingers and pull it out of the bag if you wanted. Oh yeah, that's nice and thick. And so I'm going to actually do that this way. That is good, thick dough right there. Let's put one more small one in there. We're going to have a little bit left over. I'll show you what it looks like. It's already starting to kind of heat up. Grow, if you will. I don't know what to call it. See that? Just make sure you keep it on a low boil. If you let it boil too high at all, I mean, keep it as far down as you can get it without your flame going. And then stir it up a little bit, being careful. Of course, everything's so delicately balanced here. Just to get those dumplings kind of underneath the broth. Sort of like that. Once you get the simmer going and then you put the dough in there, I would say about maybe 10 minutes at the most, you're going to cook it and then it'll be done. All right, it's been just about 10 minutes that my chicken and dumplings have been boiling. The dumplings are just about cooked. I'm going to take it off the fire here in a couple minutes and let it cool off a little bit and have myself a meal. So the dried stuff that I put in the water right from the beginning consists of dried chive, dried parsley, about 1 tablespoon of the chicken bullion. In the it's granulated. You can buy them in a little jar about like that. It's good stuff. Garlic, some celery salt, pepper, and I would replace the celery salt with dried celery flake or celery seed if I had it, but I just didn't have it. Yeah, see how nice and thick that is? Yeah, it's time to turn it off and chow down. Okay. I love this cup. That thing's been sitting there on that burner for 20 minutes. These handles are cold. Sweet. Okay. Let's put the lid on her. Grab the spork. Grab that canteen. And we're going to head to the creek. Sit over there at the Boise River and have ourselves a feast. Would you just look at the light out here? It's beautiful. It's got a golden color to it. Yeah. It's really something. Beautiful. Okay. Oh yeah. Here, let me burn my mouth right in front of you guys. See if I can blow it on a little bit, cool it off. That's incredible. Yeah, dumpling. Give this a try, you guys. Chicken and dumplings at camp. So simple, and it's so hearty, and it's hot, and it's delicious. I don't think it's made as much as it used to be made. Might not be as popular anymore. So, make it popular again, especially at your campsites. Okay? It's good stuff. Give it a try, you guys. I guarantee you, you'll love it.